She poured the potion into his drink and whispered the spell. Prince Nuru drank the potion and fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up, he had turned into a snake. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful kingdom. This kingdom was ruled by a kind and wise king. The king had 2 wives. The first wife was named Queen Alara. She was beautiful but proud. The second wife was named Queen Marama. She was gentle and kind. Queen Alara had many daughters, but she had no sons. Queen Marama, the second wife, had 1 son. His name was Prince Nuru. He was the king's only son, and everyone loved him because he was kind and brave. In the kingdom, it was the rule that only a son could become the next king. This meant that Prince Nuru would be the next king after his father. Queen Alara did not like this. She wanted one of her daughters to become the ruler. She was jealous of Queen Marama and Prince Nuru. Queen Alara began to feel more and more angry. She thought about this day and night. She couldn't stand the idea of Prince Nuru becoming king. Her jealousy grew stronger and stronger. One day, Queen Alara decided to do something terrible. She went to see a dark sorcerer who lived in a cave deep in the forest. This sorcerer was known for his wicked magic. "Please help me," Queen Alara said to the sorcerer. "I want to get rid of Prince Nuru so that my daughters can rule the kingdom." The sorcerer smiled an evil smile. "I can help you," he said. "But it will come at a price." "I am willing to pay any price," Queen Alara said. The sorcerer gave her a magic potion and a spell. "Give this potion to Prince Nuru," he said. "He will turn into a snake. The curse can only be broken if a woman agrees to marry him in his snake form." Queen Alara took the potion and the spell and went back to the palace. That night, when everyone was asleep, Queen Alara sneaked into Prince Nuru's room. She poured the potion into his drink and whispered the spell. Prince Nuru drank the potion and fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up, he had turned into a snake. Queen Marama was heartbroken. She cried and cried. The king was also very sad. They couldn't understand what had happened to their beloved son. But they knew they had to protect him. They decided to release him into the forest, hoping that one day he would transform back. In a small village near the forest, there lived a poor girl named Zuri. She lived with her mother and father. They were very poor and had very little food to eat. The villagers often made fun of them because they were poor. But Zuri was a kind and brave girl. She always helped her parents and never complained about their hard life. Zuri's family struggled to make ends meet. Her father was a woodcutter, and her mother did laundry for the villagers. Despite their hard work, they could barely afford to buy enough food. Zuri's clothes were old and torn, and her shoes had holes in them. The other children in the village often laughed at her and called her names. One day, Zuri went into the forest to gather firewood. As she was walking, she saw a beautiful snake. The snake had shining scales that sparkled in the sunlight. Zuri was not afraid. She loved all animals and knew that most of them would not harm her. "Hello, little snake," she said kindly. To her surprise, the snake spoke back. "Hello, kind girl," said the snake. "I am not an ordinary snake. I am Prince Nuru, and I have been cursed by an evil spell." Zuri was shocked. She listened as the snake told her his story. She felt very sad for him. "Don't worry, Prince Nuru," she said. "I will visit you every day. I will bring you food and we can talk." Every day, Zuri went to the forest to see the snake. She brought him food and talked to him. They became good friends. Zuri told Prince Nuru about her dreams and her troubles. Prince Nuru listened and gave her advice. They laughed together and shared their hopes. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Zuri family noticed that she was spending a lot of time in the forest, but they didn't know why. The villagers continued to make fun of Zuri and her family, but Zuri didn't mind. She had found a true friend in the snake. One day, Prince Nuru told Zuri about the curse. He explained that the only way to break the curse was for a woman to marry him in his snake form. Zuri was very surprised. She thought about it for a long time. "I will marry you, Prince Nuru," she said at last. "I want to help you break the curse." Prince Nuru was very grateful. "Thank you, Zuri," he said. "You are very brave and kind. I will always be grateful to you." The night of their wedding, Zuri brought a garland of flowers to the forest. She placed it around the snake's neck. As she did, a magical transformation took place. The snake began to change. He grew and grew until he was a man again. The curse was broken. Prince Nuru stood before Zuri as a handsome young man. He thanked her again and again. They went back to the palace together. The king and Queen Marama were overjoyed. They welcomed Zuri with open arms. When Queen Alara heard that the curse was broken, she was filled with fear and guilt. She confessed her evil deeds to the king and Queen Marama. She begged for their forgiveness. The king was very angry, but he was also wise and kind. "I will forgive you," he said. "But you must leave the palace and live a simple life. You must learn to be humble and kind." Queen Alara agreed. She left the palace and went to live in a small house in the village. She spent her days helping others and trying to make up for her past mistakes. Zuri and Prince Nuru got married in a grand ceremony. The whole kingdom celebrated their wedding. Zuri family moved to the palace, and they were no longer poor. The villagers who had once mocked Zuri now admired her for her bravery and kindness. Prince Nuru became the king, and Zuri became the queen. They ruled the kingdom with wisdom and love. They made sure that everyone in the kingdom was happy and taken care of. Zuri's kindness and bravery changed her life and the lives of his family. The moral of this story shows us that envy and jealousy lead to one's downfall, but forgiveness and humility can restore harmony.